What's up, guys? I'm Gavin or Tweek.
Bro, it's too lit. I didn't laugh this week. It's Marcus or Pink.
What up, what up? Charles, recording currently in Hawaii.
Ooh.
Nice. Has currently not in Hawaii. Super jealous of Charles. What's going on, everyone? Feels like it's been a minute since we've done. Oh, it has been a minute.
Now, what is the episode number?
I was waiting for you, dude. I was nervous because no one said it. I was like, "Is it my job this week?" Because I didn't do my research.
I don't
Well,
know.
we're counting the Q&A as an episode, right? I think.
45, maybe?
We are counting. Yeah, the Q&A
45
is-
sounds right. 45
I think it's
sounds
45.
right.
Ooh, it wasn't numbered actually.
A very general episode today. We're going to be talking about Genesis. We're going to be talking about Pound. Because we didn't have like a episode dedicated to Genesis, so we're kind of just going to wrap up Smash stuff for the past couple weeks. I guess starting with Genesis. Is this Leo's fourth Genesis win?
He is Mr. Genesis, yes.
Yes, Mr. Genesis.
He is Genesis.
Yes, he is Genesis.
Or Senesis, because this was Senesis.
Senesis. This was Senesis. Yeah.
Senesis, that's right, dude. It's so funny because these two tournaments being back to back, Genesis, which Leo always wins, and Pound, which Leo never does well in your region. Marcus is something that people started pointing out. It's really, really strange, actually, how he just doesn't. I don't know what it is, but I mean, if you had to pick one or the other, I guess you'd probably win Genesis. But there you go.
Yeah.
So Leo back on top. I mean, even then, like not winning Pound, he got second only to like Gluto playing out of his mind. So like,
Yeah.
Something I'm happy to see is that Leo's just back on top, and a lot of people were coming into Genesis week like just talking shit. Like he's not. Is Leo still number one? Is he still Mr. Consistency, all that stuff? Well, it's good to see him back there. So he's doing amazing. Yeah, we knew, but some people might not have. Leo winning Genesis, second at Pound, doing really well for himself, and I think to start the episode, like you said, Gavin, we're going to start just kind of talking about whatever we want to with Genesis. It was at this point 2 weeks ago. We're obviously catching up on some content here, so I don't know who wants to start, but jump right in.
FaZe Spargo.
I was going to say that.
I think that's an important one.
Okay, I just got to say, that is such a, you saved the announcement just being like, yeah, our player's going to get top 8. That, to me, is like pure,
oh yeah,
utter confidence. I thought that was super sick. And he got through winner's side, so, big ups to Spargo. Has been killing it as of recently. Didn't take the tournament, but it was super sick to see him get into winner's side. Finally get the sponsor revealed, right? Spargo, I mean, we're all big fans of Spargo here at the podcast. He's been doing so well for so long. And I mean, just really doing big things with Cloud, right? A character that pretty much he's like the only person that has been finding success as of recently, just because Cola has dropped Cloud. Obviously, Cola really kind of profound the early meta of Ultimate Cloud, and Spargo feels like he's pushing it a little farther because Cola, drifting more towards that Roy. But yeah, a super sick tournament, and I feel like there's just a bunch of standout players overall that we've had throughout these past two tournaments, right? And I mean, I think the first one that we're gonna talk about. Like, obviously, we all expected Leo to do really well. I thought the set with Leo Spargo was fantastic, but Gluto getting second over Spargo and then winning Pound, I think, just has to be the most improved player as of recently, right?
Bro, it was crazy because at Genesis, his run was actually kind of insane. Like he beat Cola, who he'd never beaten before. He beat Zomba. He 3-0'd Zomba with the swiftness, and then he played Light, and then he beat Spargo, and then he finally fell to Leo. That is an insane run, even just for top 8. That's a lot of top 10, top 15 players that you just beat, top 5 that you just beat in a row. It was really impressive.
Bro, plus Siskwe, plus Cosmos, plus Big Boss.
Yeah.
What the heck?
That was before top 8.
Yes.
It's crazy how much better he's gotten in what feels like the past month, right? Because even at Retta, he beat Spargo, right? And it just feels like he's improving at a rapid rate really late in his career, which is not something you see often. So it's really sick to see.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about that as a Wario player for a long time. But first off, Leo is the fucking GOAT.
Oh yeah, bro. It's weird how quiet
everybody's fucking Genesises.
It's weird.
I feel weird.
Leo's not the best.
Genesis.
Genocide, I guess.
Leo's not the best anymore. Oh
I love
my
it.
God. What are y'all talking about? Y'all don't know. He lost 3 tournaments in a row. Man, 4th place, 3rd.
He makes that character just Byleth just hits you once and you die. It's like it's consistent.
He's
for him.
so good with Byleth. He's so good with Byleth.
It's ridiculous.
No, we didn't see too much Corrin, but I think only versus Luis we saw the Corrin 2 or 3 games. But
at Genesis, right?
At Genesis particularly, yeah. I think it was
Varun too, or no? Was it all Byleth against?
It was
Varun?
Byleth versus Varun.
Okay.
Yeah. It was majority Byleth. Majority Byleth, to my knowledge. I'm trying to think like. Had to have been less than 5 games on the Corrin, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But like for sure, at least like throughout top 8 and stuff was pretty much all Byleth.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. So for Gluto, the main thing I want to say is, I think Gluto has literally revolutionized Wario over the past couple months and has actually took Wario farther as a character. Like Gluto is an incredible player. Best Wario doing it. But as someone who's been playing Wario basically my whole life, I think he has actually broke like through a gate with the character and has pushed the character farther than I expected. And I am, as just a huge fan, Gluto's my favorite player. I am just it's so cool to see it happening in real time. The jab lock wafts, the raw wafts, during like juggles or like ledge trapping, genuinely just revolutionizing the character and getting even more creative. Down smashing Leo's neutral get up after throwing the bike. Like he is doing anything to make Wario capable of winning, and it is absolutely incredible. At Pound especially, he did great versus Sonics, which is literally a terrible matchup. Like so bad. And even Gluto himself thinks this. And Gluto, if you don't know already, is super optimistic about Wario, if you've heard him talk. Like me and him are like kind of night and day when it comes to Wario. But even we both agree that Sonic is like just sometimes it doesn't feel doable. But he beat Sonics and then ended up winning the whole tournament for Pound. Like I'm just genuinely impressed, and I can't wait to watch more. Or even play against him, you know what I mean? But yeah, like, just, I have to get that off my chest just as a genuine fan. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was talking to Leo at Pound, and he was like, yeah, dude, like, he watched game 1 of Sonics vs. Gluto, and he just goes, yeah, Gluto's gonna win. And I was like, huh? And he was like, out of everyone that I've ever played, he is the best player at adapting. Like by far, like he'll like play. He's like saying how like he'll play him and like for a few games things will work and then they just stop working altogether and you can't do it anymore. And I was like, that is very high praise coming from the best player in the world. Like saying that he is by far like the best player at adapting. Like he said it like better than him. Like he just thinks that he's very very good at adapting. So it's also really nice to see like their friendship, like they really help each other out. I know they usually stay together, they practice together. That's really cool. And you gotta wonder, you start to notice this MK Leo effect is happening a lot with a lot of players where they practice with them a lot or they stay with them a lot and suddenly they turn into top 15, top 5, top 3 players. So I was making a joke. I was like, man, I might have to go stay in Mexico for a month.
Yeah.
That was the point I was going to bring up when you said there was such an improvement. And like, not only that, but the improvement, not just from staying in Mexico and playing with that like really good group of players, but also in between Pound and Genesis. I think, let me take a look here real quick. I think he lost to Leo twice at Genesis and didn't take a single game. So the improvement to going 0-3 twice against Leo to being able to beat him in 2 sets after dropping one is just fucking insane. Like, and the way he has to win with Wario, like what Tweek was talking about, you have to be so clutch. You can't mess up WAF confirms. You can't, not against someone like Leo or against a lot of players in top 8, but especially not Leo. You can't be missing those confirms. You can't be missing those. We saw what happens when he does. Like it just
he lost every game when it comes to missing WAF. Yeah,
that's so much pressure you put on yourself every single tournament because at a certain point in bracket, like Gluto can just better player a lot of players up until that point, but when it comes to beating the best of the best, he's gonna have to hit those wafts, literally hit that shit. Like he just has to do it, which is just it's not easy, and it's not easy to find those openings against really good players, especially
after the nerfs. Like,
yep,
it took him a while, but he is going above and beyond. I can't even stress it anymore how proud and how cool it is as a Wario fan. Yeah.
A lot of experts, or like a lot of people that study this game, or just other top players too. Like even when we started coming back from quarantine, and I believe it was main stage that was Leo's first, or not Leo, but Gluto's first tournament back outside of Europe. He was starting to have not the results we were used to seeing him at pre-quarantine, right? And even before grinding in Mexico and stuff, let it be clear that Gluto pre-quarantine was clearly a top 5 player, right? Like in my opinion, right? Got third at Evo, right? Like even just the whole beginning phase of Ultimate, Gluto was having tremendous results being from Europe, and was clearly their best player and was clearly one of the best players in the world. And then post-quarantine, he comes back, kind of getting 7th, or around the more bottom end of top 8 placements and stuff like that. And then, but everyone knew he had the capability, and he just didn't have the experience that all of the US players were having post quarantine, right? And lo and behold, we were all kind of right on in that sense, right? Where it's oh wow, this is what happens when Gluto starts showing up to more tournaments, starts grinding in Mexico, one of, if not the strongest regions. Not even just, even when you look outside, obviously he grinded with the best in the world being Leo, right? But also just grinding with Chag and a bunch of these other players, right, that are just really, really strong in Mexico City, Big Boss, stuff like that, right? So I mean, just leveling up at a very alarming and fast rate. And I think that goes to show just the Leo praise of, when you're fast at adapting, your learning curve is also going to be generally quick. I think that's just praise to general learning curve, and that applies to just the practice as well, right, in the overall growth. So amazing stuff to Gluto. And this is coming from I'm from Hawaii, so I understand and I can somewhat relate to knowing how it feels like to have a lot against you and having very little resources. And when you get a drip, a taste of the fountain, you dive in it and you go. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Gluto definitely was in that situation where it's okay, well, I'm gonna take this trip, go to Mexico, and every single game, every single stock was a bunch of information. He did not take that for granted and went super hard, and the results are showing. So incredible work to Gluto. And I mean, just even everyone that helped him too, all the players he grinded with in Mexico, obviously Leo being a huge contribution to this as well. So it is really cool to see this Gluto arc, if you will, right?
Yeah, and I think it was an important thing to point out too. I think it was Marcus or Gavin, but pointed out some of the W's he got he never really had before. Like beating. Not only did he get second and first at these tournaments, but he beat Cola, he beat Light. He does well against Light, but Light is such a good player. Zomba, the Spargo, he's beating some of the best players.
Zomba beat him the time before that, I believe. So
yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
a glitch tournament.
I think that's the only time they played. So yeah.
Not only are his wins godlike, his only L's at these tournaments were MK Leo. That's it. He lost 3 sets total over 2 tournaments, and all 3 of them were to Leo. So
yeah,
absolutely incredible. Yeah, isn't that wild? So shout out. You can't speak highly enough about Gluto for real.
Yeah.
Speaking of only really losing to Leo recently, there's another person who's kind of on a similar path, and that is Light.
Yeah.
Light. I don't know what happened, but bro came back and he is playing he is on fire. I think for between Genesis and Pound, he only lost to Leo and Gluto, right? Both tournaments.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
These are
there's a little trio going on.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't realize that either. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's strange.
He's been playing. And at Pound, he didn't lose a game until he played Gluto, and we're in his finals.
And that went game 5, yeah.
We're in his finals. It was the first game he lost all tournament. If it feels like he's so confident when he plays, you can see it in his play style. He's so confident when he's playing against like pretty much everyone in the world, that they have hard time taking games, which is really, really telling of like how skilled he really is, and that he can back up his confidence, you know?
Yeah, and before Gluto, he had to play Jackal and Riddles, who are two players that have given him a lot of trouble in the past. Riddles beat him at Collision, and Jackal's beaten him, I think, a couple times, right?
Yep. Yeah, beat him at SmashCon, and I think they went to Game 5 at Collision as well.
They did, yeah. Off stream, I remember just hearing the eruption of So, but yeah, Light's been crazy consistent, which is insane because when you watch some of his sets, especially against like Leo and Gluto, you can see how, damn it, don't show Charles right now. You can see how tough it gets for Fox when he gets in the corner. You see stuff like Byleth neutral air into forward air, basically killing him at 40 or 50. Like, it's insane. It is really, really hard, honestly. Like, I started watching more of his sets just like, because I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but I'll watch the tournament, and that's more for like entertainment. Like, I just want to see who wins, like the storylines, the players. Then I'll go back and watch sets and be like, what could Light have done differently, or how did Leo win? Right? Like, that's always like the good question to go back and rewatch a tournament. So I was doing that this morning and last night, and I was just like, dude, it is so hard when Leo gets a straight hit. It leads to so much good positioning for him against Light, and Light just like he's at the edge and he's just at threat of dying at like 40 or 50. It's insane. Not that Fox doesn't have a lot of good strengths otherwise, but dude, I don't know. It was crazy to watch.
I think Fox isn't necessarily weak in the corner. It's just Byleth gets a lot of return when committing into someone into the corner and getting the read right. Like it's weird because Byleth, I mean, this is like a really huge strength of Byleth, but if Byleth dashes into you, into the corner, and you're in the corner, it's like, okay, I personally think the best option is to just go do a roll in, because if you roll in and you're at 40, like, they could dash tack you or maybe back throw you back off there or whatever, right? But like, you're not, if you take a back throw, you can DI it up. If you get dash tack to the other side of the stage, you're on stage, right? Like, you need to look at that situation and just be like, I definitely can't get nared and I definitely can't get grabbed. Those are like the two options. Yeah, right. Those are like catastrophic, because if you're Fox, you'll either die or you get set at such a fucked up angle that you can't make it back. Like, fair and bear, and this is like the messed up thing about Byleth, the two things that Byleth's confirming into, like, not only are they strong, like, you'll barely live as Fox, you might even be forced to jump to live, but they send you at a very low angle. So like, you're forced to double jump, and the Fox's main mix up in terms of recovery is it's all front loaded in that double jump and how high you got hit up. If you got hit up higher, you can save your double jump or you can shine stall for mix, but shine stalling does nothing when you're hit low. It actually gives your opponent a lot more time to like react to what special you're going to commit to. And if you have to double jump and then illusion, it's like double jump, and then at that point your opponent just has to be like, okay, he had to double jump here to even line up the illusion, like react, because you can react to both illusion and Firefox. That's the biggest thing about Fox. So yeah, it gets very rough, but I mean, it just goes to show how good Leo's corner pressure is, right? Like, right. Obviously Light knows that, and Leo constantly sets up these situations. And man, okay, this is going to be kind of bridge into a weird part of, like, I'm kind of going off track here, but I was at KoiCon this weekend, and I was talking a lot with Larry, and Larry's view of top tiers and high tiers, I think, is very spot on, where, because right now we're in a meta where high tiers are winning a lot of things, in my opinion, but so top tiers, I think most players view top tiers as characters that have a little amount of losing matchups. I think for the most part, most top level players or people that study the game a lot will agree on that, right? Top tiers are characters that don't lose that much matchups, right? Like, very evenly spread, like, you just have all the tools to do a lot of things, right? High tiers feel, and again, this is all credit to Larry. Like, Larry kind of like said this, and I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And he thinks that, so that's top tiers, and high tiers are characters that they lose matchups harder and they have more losing matchups, but when they win a matchup, they win it harder. So it's like, I feel like right now, if you're playing a high tier, like, Leo's so good at mid range, it's like, why play Joker? Like, I actually think it's better for him to play Byleth, unless the matchup is like super, super bad, because he is so strong at the mid range, and the reward you get from Byleth is like so good. It just really matches up with his playstyle and stuff, and he just gets massive return for controlling mid-range. And then he controls the mid-range to the point where it's like, okay, whenever he does commit in with Byleth, he like makes it count. Like he just, he gets the most value in terms of like what he's strong as a player. And I feel like that's always, as a player, that's something you're always trying to bounce around, right? Like, shit, okay, like I can play this character or I could play this character. For my skill set, I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck and optimize what I'm trying to get out of everything. So definitely like a long rant, but I feel like that's where the meta is right now. And I feel like that's why we're seeing a lot of high tiers be successful. And I feel like a lot of people can like look at the tournament and just be, oh, well, maybe we just don't know what top tier is. But it's all perspective, right? But I think most players or most of the player base thinks that top tiers are like well-rounded characters kind of thing.
It has to do with matchups too, right? But I think as we go on, we might see the top tier expand even more too, right? Like right now it's like 5 characters or something. It might turn into 7 or, who knows? I don't know, man. It's really interesting, but I think you said it well too, where it's just like currently top tiers are running the meta to the point where Spargo went down on the tier list and started doing better and finding more consistent results with Cloud versus Aegis, which is so interesting. Like, it's just, like you said, it's more about finding a character and finding a playstyle that's consistent and good for you rather than just running and picking a top tier. And I think a lot of that has to do with the squish effect that Ultimate has on the tier list, where the worst character in the game is a lot closer to the top character in the game than probably any other Smash game before. Like, it's not even close. Like, think of Brawl Ganon versus Meta Knight or whatever. Ganon Smash 4 against Bayo, whoever you want to say. Melee, don't even get me, like, geez, I can't even think about how bad that is. Like, but in this game, you see people finding relative success with any character on the tier list. You want to say Little Mac's the worst in the game? We could find pretty decent results at majors for Little Mac. It exists, so it's just
Mario.
Yep, Doc. Good transition, Charles. There you go. Now we're talking. Bacon, that's what's up.
True. Shout outs to Bacon, 17th a pound. Best MDVA placing player too. Hey,
really? Wow.
Yeah, best placing player for MDVA. That's
maybe
lit.
ZD was right. See ya.
That character is broken.
Did he get 17th though? Did he get 17th? I heard he got DQ'd after he got what's that?
Oh, true.
Falcon Punch. That's what's the name of that.
They removed him from the bracket.
I heard they removed him from the bracket after he got.
What do you mean that's the name of that move? Are you new here?
I felt so bad because I was like watching it and I was like, dang, you got 17th at a major with Dr. Mario. That's insane. But nobody's gonna remember that. They're just gonna remember that you got clipped into Falcon Punch.
It's the Goblin. It's the Goblin JV4 L thing. But he won that set.
Still won the set.
He won the tournament. But no one cares. Like, it's just, it is what it is. But dude,
Cash Money Mirror.
I'm glad people are getting to know about Kashmir, Sean, aka he used to go by Kashmir in 4. Such a great and creative Falcon. Like, I love the way he looks at and breaks down the game with a character that is consistently looked at as kind of a caveman, like he's a bit of a masher, a bit of a bonehead type character, which I love him for, obviously, and a lot of people do, but kind of, I feel like people who are into the fine arts of Smash are like, ooh, Falcon isn't that cool. It's like, yeah, right. Look at this guy, Sean. He'll prove you wrong. Like, he's amazing. The way he looks at the game is incredible.
No, I agree with
his eye for the game.
He plays Falcon as if he views the game like it's a refined art instead of like a let's go kill people with Captain Falcon kind of thing.
Right.
Like, he uses the F tilt. He gets a little creative and weird. Like, yeah, I can appreciate that a lot too.
Yeah, it's cool because he's traveling. He's traveling the country in his car, just going to locals. That is so sick.
I saw a great joke about that because every region was claiming him. Obviously, Florida was, but then Tri-State was claiming him, and it's like, no, he was actually MDVA for no.
Oh, true.
Someone just
MDVA made top 8.
Oh. Nice. Someone just tweeted, Sean's region is his car, and that's it. I was like, yep, that's the right tweet right there. That's the
I used to say that about, I would just say, I'm Wi-Fi. I'm not a region.
Yep.
I'm just Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Team Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Team
Wi-Fi.
It's true sometimes, man. It's true.
Floyd would claim Wi-Fi over SoCal all the time.
Yeah, he's super sick, and
top 8, yeah.
I had an experience for, over a month and a half. I think we played, 12 sets while he was here, which is kind of crazy now that I'm thinking about it, but always back and forth. It was really, really fun playing him. And I think one cool thing about what he's doing is it kind of brings this regional pride out of your region. you're like, oh man, like Sean's gonna be there. Like we can't let this person he's from Florida originally, from Florida win. So everybody in our region was tryharding. Like I had to do like VOD review sessions with like some of the best players in my region so we could beat Sean. Like it was really cool. So I hope that I don't know if that happens.
Something interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that happens in other regions, but we were like, bro, oh no, we can't let this dude win. He kept winning, but like,
dude, I have a funny story.
Really cool. Oh, go for it.
So going back to him traveling around. So I was hanging out with Jackal. Shouts to Jackal who got 9th at Pound, by the way. Really proud. I was hanging out with Jackal at my place, and one of us found out that Sean was coming to Jersey or New Jersey, New York, and Jackal's just like, "Fuck!" like, because that local money is like usually like he needs that, so like it's kind of similar to what you were talking about. With like figuring out how to beat him, like we gotta beat this guy. Like it sparks something really interesting in the community. But for Jackal, it's like, fuck, I can't let this guy take my money.
Yeah,
like my local paycheck. Yeah.
Bro, that's how ZD was.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. And Jackal ended up winning grand finals of a few, like the Fusion Sean was at or whatever. And I think other tournaments too, like maybe 1 or 2 events that they were at, they got 1st and 2nd. And yeah, it just reminded me of that. Super funny.
Yeah. Shout out to Sean, man.
And it's different. Like we don't have like a Falcon doing it like that in MDVA or Tri-State. So
that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. It's one thing to play against a good Falcon, but a Falcon like that who uses his brain and stuff, it's different. It's different, man. It's different.
Honestly, that's the only reason I took a game from Fatality at Genesis. What the heck?
Oh, because yeah.
Because I'd been playing Sean for like a month before.
I think I said that on commentary. Actually, I think so. I think I got that on there.
Yeah, I was like, oh snap! I kind of know this matchup. Like I know. And then
I watched you play him. I watched you play him a bunch. Actually, they were good sets.
Yeah, they're really fun. That matchup's so entertaining because it's like both characters are just exploding each other like over and over again. It's super sick.
Nice.
All right, real quick around the horn. Okay, what's the worst way? I made a Twitter poll about this. The worst way to lose a set: Falcon Punch, Steve F, or JV4. I think it's JV4.
Yes.
And you're losing the set.
Yes.
You can't be like, oh, but I won the set. Like you're getting eliminated from losers bracket game 3 like from this move.
The L is a meme, so who cares about that? Like whatever.
It's an F.
Or F, whatever. They could do it any time.
But you'll be always known as the F guy, like.
Yeah, it's all right. It's better than the JV4 guy. Holy shit! And
Goblin isn't known as the guy.
Goblin isn't known as the JV4 guy.
Goblin is known as Goblin.
Right.
That's true. Dude, and so like the F, whatever. They could do that at any point in a set. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever. Sure. Falcon Punch, you got hard red once. That's all that means. Really, that's all that means. Like it's bad, but like it could be a lot worse. JV4 means you got outplayed for 3 stocks and you didn't hit them once. Yes. That's tough.
I think we're all on the same track here.
That's JV4, right?
That would hurt. That would like physically, like I would have to take a seat after that. Like
I have so much pride in like my neutral, and getting JV4'd would mean like that I got more than outplayed. Like
you could have lost neutral 3 times against Kazuya. See you.
True.
No,
if it's against Kazuya. You lose a neutral to Kazuya?
Man. I won't. I refuse.
The other thing is that it's a slow burn too when you're getting JV forward because like you lose the first stock, you're like, oh, I got 0 to death, and then it starts happening again. You're like, oh shit, is this happening? And then you're on your last stock. You're like, please God, let me just one time.
Even better question: when do you guys start thinking of whether you're doing it or you're getting JV forward? When do you guys start thinking that it's a possibility?
When I'm spawning in my last stock. I'm spawning in on my last stock.
Nope, definitely not. No.
Not for me. Mine is when I get hit on my second stock.
Yes, that is right. I completely agree.
Because I get 0 to death, and I'm like not thinking about JV4. But if I get opened up after being invincible on my second stock, I was like, wait.
Oh.
There's a chance I get JV4.
Yeah, so
or I JV4 someone.
when I get hit on my second stock after invincibility, I'm like, bro, am I about to get JV4? But I don't think I'm gonna JV4 someone until I hit them on their third stock.
Yes,
the moment I hit
agree.
them on their third stock after their invincibility, I'm like, oh, it's incoming. I'm not letting you touch the ground again. Like,
yeah, I'm like about to JV someone, and I'm like, I get a bread and butter combo instead of going for a mix. I like roll away. Like, no, I'm not getting hit. Like, I'm gonna shoot some lasers or something. Like, yeah, like, nah, I'm out of here.
It's interesting that we kind of unanimously agree that you start thinking about the possibility of having it happen to you before you start thinking about doing it to someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it's not a reality to you until it's that last stock.
You're just doing your thing.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that, I think. But I totally agree where it's second stock. If I got 0 to death, like whatever. All right, I got 0 to death. I can do it back to you. But then you get hit once. It's like, oh shit, is this another stock? Is this? Then you start freaking out.
And then you got 0 to death. And you didn't manage to get a hit with invincibility.
Yep. Very bad.
That's terrifying. That means they're on to some shit.
I'll be honest.
That means they probably have a setup for your second stock that's going to kill you at 50. You're fucked.
So we all agree JV4, right?
Yeah. JV4, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. It's not even close. Like, whatever.
But the other one really pissed me off.
That would be none of them are great. Let's get that out there.
Okay,
you know, it's not great.
Hopefully none of them happen.
Yeah.
To me.
And a JV3 in Smash 4 was not as bad as a JV4 in Ultimate. Definitely. In Ultimate, you have so much more chances, and there was so much dumb bullshit in Smash 4. I actually have a really funny JV3 Smash 4 story. So where Void used to live, it was a rule where if you got JV3'd, you would get kicked out of the house. And I won't say any names, but Void did get hit on purpose once while playing friendlies because he was a homie. And he didn't want someone to get kicked but he was about to JV3 someone in Smash 4, and then he was just like, you know what? I'll give it up.
Yeah.
He gave it up, man.
Nice, dude. So we talked a lot about, Light and Leo and Gluto and a lot of other players and their results, Pound, Genesis, all that stuff. But Marcus, Tweek, I know you guys, entered some brackets there too. I don't know if you guys want to jump in and talk about them.
Who's going first?
I can go first.
You were at both events.
Yeah, I was at both events. Before I do want to say shout outs to Yanni and Aaron.
Don't say the last one. That's mine. That's my shout out.
I knew you. I saved. That's why I only said them because I knew you would want to say it. Especially Aaron, he's been having a lot of rough tournaments. Yanni too, actually. They both had been having some rough tournaments. Yeah. Feeling really down on themselves. Like, man, I don't know if I'm built for this. I don't know if I can do it anymore. Like, this really sucks. And then, to perform at that level, getting 9th for Aaron and 13th for Yanni at Genesis, which is like the biggest and hardest tournament that we've probably had to date. Just really speaks volumes to them as players, their ability to bounce back. It was really, really sick to see. I am glad that they perform well because they are some of my favorite players to watch. So that's really cool. But for me personally, okay, so Genesis was really strange for me because it didn't really feel like a tournament. Like, I was there and I was happy to be hanging out with friends I hadn't seen in a long time. Like, that was the first time I had seen Void in like 2.5 years or something like that, 3 years. I think the last time I saw Void, was during my honeymoon, actually. My wife, we were in Palm Springs, California. We went to Disneyland and we met up with Void there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's been a really long time since I had seen him. Obviously, I hadn't seen Gavin, Charles has all that in a really long time as well because I don't go to that many events. So it's really cool. I was really excited for Bless You. The Metafy Q&A that we did, like, to me,
it felt less we didn't mention it.
Dude, it was so good. We had such a blast.
It was really good.
It was
a lot of fun. Yeah. Shout out to Metafy.
Shout out to anyone who asked a question at the booth. You might be listening to this episode. I was
true.
Except for Reggie, that was a terrible question. How dare you?
It was a best question that was asked, which was the One Piece question. But yeah, so for me, it didn't really feel like a tournament. I was just kind of enjoying myself, and then at some point, I think Saturday, it started to sink in. I was playing and I was like, oh no, my hands are shaking, this isn't good. And I was nervous going into all my sets, and I was like, man, this really sucks. I was having a blast, and then out of nowhere, I'm like, oh man, can I beat Fatality? I think I can beat Fatality. I'm like asking all these questions. I'm stressed out. I'm like, man, this is really annoying. I didn't have any sound, which like I play off of sound, so it really sucked. And I didn't know some of the rules, which kind of sucked. As far as like counterpicking stages went and all that. Always important to check the rule set. That's a lesson learned for me that from that weekend. Lost to Fatality 2-1. It's all good. Good set. Enjoyed myself. Then I went to losers and I was like, bro, I don't even care. Like it was weird. I was like, I've had fun this weekend. Like if I get smoked this next set, it's fine. And if I win, it's fine. And then I don't know, like I was so relaxed that I just was playing well. I was like, oh, I beat this person. Who do I play? Oh, Flo. That dude's good. Roy from Europe. You normally like top 8s of events. Oh, okay. Well, all right, I won. And like I just kept winning and I was like, what's going on? And there's actually a really funny story. So they're like, hey, you play AC next, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Like, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, I know he's not going to go Snake. He's probably going to go Meta Knight because that's supposed to be a bad matchup for him. And I don't know. I've never played it before, so I have no experience. And he plays against Peckham a lot, who also did very well. Shout outs to Pex, one of my favorite people I met from that weekend, who also made top 64 solo min. And he's like, yeah, man, he usually goes Meta Knight against me. I have a really hard time. And I was like, dang it, bro. All right, I'll figure this out on the fly. And I win game 1, I lose game 2. And in my mind, my brain just went, he can't be the guy that beats both of the Tweek Talks players. After game 2, I full locked in. I was like, no, I can't lose. And I won the next 2 games. And then I lost to Chag right afterward. 3-1. He just got the better of me. I was really exhausted. And yeah, that was my run for Genesis. And then for Pound, I was exhausted. Thank you. I was exhausted from Genesis. And I was like, I'm still going to go to Pound. I learned my lesson. I can't do 2 majors in a row. I just don't have the stamina for it. But I also learned that I do need to work on my stamina just in bracket in general. Yeah. Because I'm not used to, as weird as that sounds, I'm not used to making it that far. So especially through losers, you have to play a lot more sets. Normally for me, if I make it far, it's through winners. And then when I lose, I go into I don't care mode, but somehow that worked out this time. So definitely going to work on my stamina and stuff. But it was great. Good 2 weekends in a row. Glad I went to Genesis, Pound. I'm glad I went to Pound.
Well, dude, especially that Saturday at Genesis is just a marathon for it's
crazy.
Like we did the Q&A, like commentary, like it was a gauntlet of a day, even if you're just entering bracket, but it's a busy day for everyone. So great run, Marcus. That was awesome. So it was cool to see you there when the dust was kind of settling in the bracket. So that was great.
Like,
good crowds too. Good crowds too at Genesis. Like you got, obviously if you weren't there, you only saw the stream setup sets, but man, especially Aaron sets off stream, they were going crazy. They were going crazy.
So many people watching. Dude, I was playing Chag and I witnessed 2 different pop-offs during our set. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man. And across, it was like this long table. It was like this, right? Like a rectangle. And across from me, there's Riddles playing somebody. I don't know who it is. I just know Riddles is playing. And I just hear, I'm like, I have noise canceling headphones in from Astro, by the way. They let you rent them at Genesis. It was really cool.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. That was cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I had them on. I'm like playing. I'm locked in. And I just hear, yes! And I was like, bro, what just happened? Like, I see Riddles popping off. Yeah, because once you start getting to like around the top 16 area, everything's a pop off, right? So I'm like, oh, snap. I guess Riddles won. And I like try to focus back in. And that's how I knew I was getting tired. I was like, oh, no, things are breaking my focus really easily.
Yeah.
And then like the next game I'm playing Chag, I look up and I hear something like hit the table, like, and I was like, like I felt the table shake on my side. Like I was like, what's going on? Like the TV shaking, like what? And I hear Yanni popping, yeah. And I'm like,
God,
bro, this is crazy. Like everybody's popping off, but it was really hype. It was great.
Yeah, nice.
I guess it's my turn, right?
It's time.
Sure
It's
is.
time, Gavin. It's time.
So it was interesting. So rough travel day to Genesis. I had a layover. It was like 10, 11 hours or something crazy, just because I'm all the way in New Jersey. So when it comes to actually just going into bracket, I actually felt like I was playing really well when I was warming up in training mode. I wasn't like flubbing at all. Like I was like playing really clean. I didn't play any real matches with anyone, which I kind of regret. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to play anyone until bracket starts. I think I might try to break that and try to just start playing people.
A little warm up.
Yeah, just maybe because it was interesting in training mode. I was like, wow, I'm not flubbing anything. But then when the real matches started, my pool, like all that stuff went away, and I was just playing very basic, really scared, really hesitant. And I made it out of pools. I even like had a really close match in my second round. I lost the first game, and then I lost the first stock of the second game. Like I almost got 2-0 basically, but I ended up winning. So I was happy to be in winners, but I just wasn't feeling great. And then I played on stream against Legit. I was a little worried about the Diddy Ditto just because it's a Ditto. But I had studied up a lot of it in preparation for Aaron because I was projected to play Aaron at Collision. Didn't end up doing that, but it ended up coming in really handy against Legit. I basically did everything I planned to do against Aaron, and it worked out perfectly. That was the best I played by far. I can't even say I played well in any set except that one. And I guess it makes sense. I was the most prepared for that one. And then I played AC. And it's funny. I had a lot of specific game plans for in general, but also for characters like Snake. And I didn't even try any of them. It's like I was scared and I just like went to comfort. I didn't want to play on PS2. I played on PS2 all 3 games. Just kind of do it. And I definitely was letting myself go a lot. I was getting super frustrated, just straight up mauling. I was super upset after the set. And I'm just disappointed, honestly, in myself from that tournament. Shouts to AC, though. I love Snake, and it's cool to see someone that good with Snake. And shouts to Marcus for getting revenge, too. Revenge for
Can't
me.
take all of us out.
Yeah.
Me and Chuck were safe. Don't worry, dude.
Yeah, we're retired. See ya.
And then I lose that set 2-1. It was like last hit, game 3. On Smash GG, it was reported as 2-0, and I was like, damn, they thought I got smoked like that. But it is really close. I actually almost made a crazy comeback, so that was cool. And then I told myself, like, well, honestly, I could barely focus. I was so pissed off, especially because I've had such bad runs at Genesis that I kind of fell apart like immediately, and that wasn't good. Once again, I'm super disappointed in myself. Like, I could barely like function. I like didn't want to take pictures with anyone. I was just trying to wait for my next game. I almost like left the building at one point. Like I was just falling apart. And when it did come time to play my match, this was to get into top 64, which was going to be Saturday. So this was my last match of the day, no matter what. It was also to get into best of 5. And anyone who's a top player or like has gotten to best of 5s, like getting into best of 5 is super comforting. It's kind of like a mental refresher, like a restart maybe. I don't know how else to describe it. And it was against Rob, and I was like, okay, thank God. Rob is my favorite matchup in the game. I think even if I'm playing really, really poorly, I have a great shot against any Rob player. And the main thing I told myself was do the things you wanted to do versus AC in terms of the game plans, and I did that, and it went a lot better. And I moved on to Saturday, and then I think I played. Wait, no, this was just later in the day.
Saturday, yeah.
This was all Saturday, yeah.
Your pools were on Friday.
Friday
though,
was
right?
just my first 2 matches. Sorry. And then my next match was against Grayson in top 64. Rob again. Woo! I won 3-0, I believe. And my next match was the loser of E7 Mars. and I told Marcus this, but I just had a gut feeling that Mars would win, and I wasn't taking no for an answer. I just knew Mars was going to win. I don't know. I've been to a million tournaments, especially with Mars and ESAM. Like, they've been around in the same brackets as me for a long time. I just knew. I don't know if it's some intuition from being to a million tournaments, but I literally knew for a fact that Mars was going to win, and he did, and it wasn't close.
Yep.
It was really dominant. Also, we didn't even mention shoutouts to Mars.
Shoutouts to Genesis Mars.
Beautiful play and very Mars-esque of him, if that makes sense. Like, very confident, like, just cool to see.
The off stage he was hitting.
Yeah. He was on my list, by the way. I didn't forget about you, Ty. You're on my list. Right.
I knew I had a good chance if to beat Mars if he got sent down to losers, and obviously I kind of wanted it, but I knew that Mars was going to win for some reason, so I was just preparing for ESAM. And honestly, I guess there wasn't much I could do in the moment. Game 1 against ESAM, I literally got 3-stocked. And Game 2, I was about to win, and I got like death comboed by a Thunder that killed me super early. And then Game 3 was really close, and I lost. Yeah, it really sucked. I was really disappointed in myself. I felt like I regressed a lot mentally and gameplay-wise. Took me a while to mentally recuperate. I actually ended up going to the hospital coincidentally on my way home. I had a layover in Chicago, and I woke up mid-flight like with a lot of pain. I wanted to make it to Philly at least and just go to the hospital somewhere close to home, but I couldn't. Funny story. I'm sure everyone in here knows Laud from Melee. One of the best Melee players in the world. Laud was on my flight to Chicago, and Laud is a doctor. Yep. So I get off the flight, and I'm like dying. I couldn't walk really. And I was like limping towards Laud, and I was like calling out for him. And I was like, "You're a doctor, right?" I hadn't even said hi to him other than this moment. And Laud like helped me out. We ended up deciding that I was just gonna to go to the ER in Chicago. And shoutouts to B for helping me out through all this. It was a rough day for us. I was in the hospital for like at least 6 hours that night. And we ended up getting a hotel and getting canes, which was nice because we don't have canes where I'm from, so it ended up being worth it.
Oh, it's so
worth.
But yeah, I don't know if it was like if the stress from Genesis was connected to that. You know, it's all possible, but just a really rough weekend for me. I got prescribed some medicine. I'm almost finished with it. I'm going to see some more doctors. And I stayed home for Pound. I watched Pound with Haz. It was a great time. I got to witness one of my favorite characters winning. And I'm feeling a lot better with Smash. I'm actually feeling great with Smash the past few days. I guess it's no secret that I've been playing Wolf almost exclusively on stream, kind of doing what I always do when I have a bad loss, reevaluating my playstyle, completely changing things, getting a new playstyle, getting a new perspective, and it's been going really well. But yeah, that's like basically all the updates on me. I just want to come back. Like, I not only want to do better results wise, I want to just stop getting so pissed off and so upset, like so bad. That's the main thing I want. Like, so I think taking a break is necessary because it's like, I just, it's obvious that I'm not fully ready to, I wasn't, at least for Pound, right? Yeah, I guess that's all my updates on me.
I think for you at Genesis too, and I think you touched on this a bit already, but I think you put so much pressure on yourself too, which I think the buildup for that, inevitably was going to lead to an explosive outcome one way or the other, right? Like a big victory or defeat, one way or the other was going to happen. So I think the buildup was big, and I think, taking a break and stepping back is definitely a good choice. Or like just re-looking at the game the way that you're doing right now, I think is a good choice.
Thank you.
Yeah. And there was a lot going on too. I feel like for you got the win on Leo at Collision, right, and all that other stuff. So yeah, high expectations, and I think on top of that, when things don't start off so strong, and I mean it's like Genesis too. I think that the fact that the tournament was Genesis is like another layer too. But I mean it's good that you're able to reevaluate and kind of just like see how you reacted in those situations. Be like, all right, cool, like. I will say from experience from, previously being your coach and just hanging out with you a lot. In terms of after it happened, like I think like after for the rest of the weekend, like Sunday and stuff like that, we hung out here and there, throughout Sunday, and even you played some friendlies on Sunday and stuff like that, which is I still think you are in the step to the right direction, right? And it's just you can't fix something immediately, right? It's a bunch of steps to kind of progress into that direction. So it's cool to see you grow, right? From someone who's, I mean, we've all been watching you grow as a player and as a person for so long in the community, right? So it's cool to see that.
Yeah.
Thank you, y'all.
That's the shit I love about Smash, and I mean anything really competitive, team sports or whatever, is not winning in the game or losing in the game. It's like the personal growth outside of it or what it can lead to. That's always my favorite thing when it comes to involved hobbies or involved, competitive esports, sport, whatever it is. So shit's important, man. Anything you do, you need to be able to have that perspective and that outcome. So yeah, obviously we're all rooting for you. You're gonna do great. So we'll see what happens the next time.
Thank you.
Next time you're out there, man. All right, guys. Well, talked a lot about Genesis, a lot about Pound. We're going to do Around the Horn to close it out. I'm happy to start, actually, with this, because I think Marcus was hinting at what I wanted to talk about. But one of my highlights of Genesis was meeting Icon. I think everybody knows he's like, I don't want to say the man of the hour, but like the man of like the last 2-3 months, like best Ryu in the world, amazing Chicago player. And honestly, like, he doesn't have social media, which is super cool. But the thing about it is he's not doing it for any other reason than he's just like a humble, really nice guy. Like he's just everything you see and think about him or assume about him on stream about how great he probably is. It's even better in person. Like the experience was amazing. Like he's just such a pleasant human. Like we had such a nice time interacting and obviously talking about Smash and about the Shoto specifically, and meeting Icon and watching him do well was just amazing. So shout outs to him. And he asked me if I'd shout out. He has a podcast with Apollo Kage, a great Snake player as well. Love Apollo Kage. So they got a podcast. So definitely check that out. And yeah, that's probably my last shout out because we already had Mars and Light, of course. Oh, and Riddles has been doing well recently too. Got to shout out my man Riddles. 13th at Genesis, 4th at Pound, doing really, really well. Mix of Kazuya and Terry. Love to see that he's kind of solved his character crisis. Well, solved. It's never completely solved, but I'm glad he's feeling confident in what he's doing and it's working out. So those are my shout outs.
All right, I guess I'll go next. So I thought, Genesis, obviously, amazing tournament. Always has a very special place in my heart. My favorite tournament of all time is Genesis 3. That's what Mars and Void's breakout tournament. So just a really sick tournament. Had a crew battles. I think I've said that multiple times. But shout out to the Genesis series. Shout outs to Pound. It was super sick watching all of that. I wasn't at Pound this weekend. Oh, and I also got to commentate top 8 of Genesis with Coney the first half. So that was really fucking amazing. Yeah,
Shout out to you. That's right.
I was
super, you, man. You killed it.
Super happy for the opportunity. The first ever top 8 I've commentated for Genesis. So that was super sick. And especially with like how much it means, that tournament series means to me. So that was really cool. I wasn't at Pound because I was in Hawaii for a tournament called KawaiiCon. So shout outs to KawaiiCon.
Shout out to Larry that tournament.
Yeah, Larry won that tournament over Mars and Void. So Mars got second, Void got third. Larry Lur is Mr. KawaiiCon. He has the most KawaiiCon wins. Fun fact. He's been coming ever since Brawl. He's been whooping our ass ever since Brawl. So really cool. He's been doing over multiple iterations of the game, Brawl, Smash 4, now Ultimate. So yeah, Mr. KawaiiCon himself won. And it was really cool to go around Hawaii. Me and Mars actually left right after Genesis, and we got to Hawaii on Monday. Tyler did not have the best luck, I will say. Every time we tried to go to a beach or something, it started raining. I felt really bad. He was just like, I'm never coming to Hawaii again, but I hope he's just trolling. It would be really cool to see him come again, and hopefully next time, my favorite hike won't be closed down, and every time we go to the beach, it won't rain. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Shouts to KawaiiCon, and, shouts to all the players that came through, and it was a fun tournament.
I guess for me, I'm really thankful for the watching Pound with Haz actually really helped re-motivate me to play again. It was a great tournament to watch. I had a lot of fun in it. I just feel like a bit refreshed with Smash. So honestly, yeah, I'm feeling good, and I'm looking forward to playing again hopefully soon. I think my next tournament might be MomoCon in terms of really big tournaments. Maybe I'll go to a local or two in between then. Usually I'm not the type to be at too many locals, but I might have a monthly in my region. So yeah, that's about it from me.
Yeah, I mean, I said a lot this episode. This is weird. I just thought about that.
You be talking.
I was like, wait a second. Yeah.
Marcus mumbles.
No. Hashtackles, troll chats. True. Yeah. I don't know. These past 2 weeks have been really great. Great seeing you all. I had a fantastic time hanging out with you all.
It's kind of crazy that we were all there.
Yeah,
at the same tournament. Yeah,
at the same tournament. Y'all going to?
We made the most of it. We did something with it,
and we basically did a live episode. We did it all. Like we really did actually.
Y'all going to MomoCon?
I'll be at MomoCon.
God, 3 out of 4. It's all good.
It's always 3 out of 4.
That's always what happens.
Yep, it's usually 3 out of 4. But yeah, I think over the past couple weeks, I learned a lot about myself as a player and just as like a person. I can't do like really stressful events. I don't like if I'm thinking about an event beforehand, I get really stressed out. I just can't do it. Shout outs to Sonics, by the way. Top 8 at Pound, who I've always thought was a fantastic player. I think Sonics is like incredible. Like probably like easily top 20 player in the world. Yep. I think he's very, very talented. So I'm glad that he performed well. And shout outs to Light and Cosmos for playing me all weekend at Pound and absolutely obliterating me.
Those two are grinders.
I was getting smoked all weekend. It was like the most demoralizing thing and the most motivating thing at the same time. Because there were times where I was like, oh, I'm keeping up. Oh, I'm winning. And then there were times I was like, Mr. Krabs, just what? Yeah. How are they at this level? So I want to work on like my consistency when I'm playing for sure. And there's a lot of things that they think that I should work on and they taught me. So yeah, shout outs to them. See you.
Nice.
See ya.
Peace.